I retired 2019. Between 2019 and now 2021, I've had so many resets. So many resets. I remember when it happened, I was like, damn, like I was mad. Because I was supposed to get $50,000 off that deal. And I was counting that 50 because I was gonna buy another building that I flipped. I was ready. I was literally going to pick the 50 up to make another move. I was in another contract, and then got the call like, "Yo, I don't have nothing. Maybe I could give you 10 or 20." I'm like, "Nah, it's 50. It's 50." And then in 48 hours, I got another 45, 42, something like that, 42,000. And I made that deal, but I had to leverage certain things to make sure I didn't drop that deal, didn't drop this deal, and I just finished paying that last thing off. In December. Last year, I paid off $733,000 in debt. So what happens is now, and in the book, I felt bad for her. Because she wasn't spending her money on like herself. She was spending money on other people. And people came out the woodworks. And she's like depressed now, like has a problem, everything. And I know a few people that happened to. Luckily for me, I've learned how to get money. So, like, I've learned how to manage 1,000. I've learned how to manage 10,000. I've learned how. But when you get $1 million, I don't know if I would have did any different. I probably would have bought $1 million watch and just been like, I don't know. I'm not judging anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's in the book. That's in the book too. When I made my first 100,000 in a day, I bought. But it's in the book. Bought a presidential. Bought a Beamer. Invested. It's in the book. When you first get money. Especially, you don't know how to act because you didn't get any training on it. So I don't judge her. I just hope that her story helps a lot of other people. It's sad. What happened to her is very sad. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, but it's the same with like a lot of celebrities. They get big deals and don't really know what to do with it. They blow it. So it's really about educating yourself.
1,000%. 1,000%. And a lot of them. A lot of them know.
Because I think when I moved out at 17, and I promise y'all, when I first moved out, I got me a car. Remember, Dontae, I got me that little Kia Sportage. You know that I probably shouldn't have had that car, baby. I'm living out by myself, taking care of my own bills. By the time them bills kicked in, baby, and that car payment, I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna be able to do this. I don't know what I was thinking. I promise you, by the time I was like 20, 21, I had to file bankruptcy that freaking early.
But good.
Early, just to kind of get like stuff and and I ended up getting everything situated because, probably I think when I was 26, 27, I bought my house, but still, you know what I'm saying? If I would have knew, like, if they had classes or something, like, in school, because my grandma heard about credit all the time. My grandma, my grandma's credit was perfect, but she never, like, educated me. You know what I'm saying? This is what to do. This is how to do it. She made sure that, I did what I need to do, like, put this back for her, but as far as bill wise, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just never got taught that, early on. So when I moved out, I was like, heck yeah.
Y'all kids got credit cards? Your kids got credit cards?
No.
Why not?
I don't use
Why not?
No.
Why not?
You said why not?
Yeah, why not?
Well, they got a big. Okay, so let me say this. I say she doesn't. She's an authorized user on one of my credit cards, but she doesn't actually have a credit card yet. And I will let her have a credit card eventually, but I'm afraid of like what that will look like.
Okay.
So, as we start kind of building towards that education of things, then I'll let her get a credit card. But I just feel like right now, she's still kind of learning the whole loops and the turns of like what that looks like. Now we do talk about like how much the utilization is on the credit card that she's the authorized user on. We do talk about like what that how that affects her credit, ways that to kind of keep the interest low, to get low interest, and how to what you should and shouldn't use and those kind of things. We do talk about that kind of stuff. I just haven't let her get a credit card yet.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Okay.
Okay. No, go ahead. I was just gonna say the same thing. My daughter, she's an authorized user, but I just did it for the purposes of building her credit. But the reason why I haven't encouraged her to get a credit card is because I don't feel like she controls her like checking account very well, and so I just want her to be able to manage that a little bit better before she starts getting credit cards and things like that, and not being able to manage that.
Well, this is my opinion on it, and like my daughter's gonna be 15 in a couple weeks, and she bought her first property. She was 11. She had her first credit card when she was 10. Now, why is that? I may ask you guys a question. Name one thing that's important in your life that you learn how to do without experiencing it. I'll wait. Okay, take your time.
Probably not a nut. Probably
Nothing. Nothing. You didn't learn how to walk by somebody saying, she's gonna fall. Now she can walk. You're gonna learn how to speak. You're gonna learn how to drive. You're gonna learn how to read. You're gonna learn how to do anything that's significant. Yet, I'm saying this, I love this conversation, because this right here is refreshing for me. Maybe there's a shift, right? There's a reset in your thinking. You have apprehension, you have a fear of. And what is the definition of fear? Fear is not technically a real thing. Fear is not tangible. Fear is an emotional response to a perceived stimulus. So what that means is you're afraid of what you think is going to happen. Now, I'm not saying it's certain things, you shouldn't be mindful of, but what I'm saying is, if you know that your children can get hurt by getting into X amount of debt, well, then why not get them a secured card for $500? Where the worst thing that they could do is mess up $500. They're not going to end up in bankruptcy. They have to learn. Like, you got to skin your knee. And if your daughter's checking account's messed up, let her bounce a couple of checks. Bouncing checks is fine. That don't mess up your credit. Let her bounce a couple of checks. Let her miss something. You know what I'm saying? Let her pay for this and that. Yeah. My daughter breaks her cell phone.
Well, thank you. That makes sense. It makes a whole
and I think that's also like something that like me and my sister were talking about that earlier today, because like my daughter has not had to experience any loss.
There you go.
Like nothing. Like, so I think part of the problem is there's always a safety net. There's always somebody there to fix it, but that's not really life.
Right.
And so, like, I think that we've kind of given her this safety net that doesn't allow her to problem solve. And so when there's things that she needs to be problem solving through, I get upset, not we. I get upset because I'm like, well, why did she think that through? Well, she didn't think it through because she never had to exercise that muscle to have to think it through. And so I just literally had that conversation today. I was like, I'm going to have to start pulling off of her a bit more. It makes me uncomfortable because, like you said, I have a fear of what will happen. But I think part of it is I do have to, at some point, the fear of what's going to happen might actually happen because she doesn't know how to do it versus it happening and then us fixing it because, we're in a position to fix it at this point versus, trying to coddle her through it and then just putting it out there and then like, like you said, you're gonna fall, here go walk. Like, yes, you're gonna fall at that point. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a huge I like that thought process. But yeah, I was just talking about that today. So
yeah, I like it too. And I think that the thing is we're projecting our fears off on, our experiences, off on them and what we think is going to happen. But I do like what you said about the secure credit card. I hadn't even thought about that idea of it getting her secured credit card and kind of let her manage that. I definitely like that idea.
Well,
I think she said it is like a safety net, and it's part of like being a mother too. You don't want your child to make mistakes. You don't want your child to get into things that we've done and been through. But like you said, you're not gonna learn if you don't experience it.
Right.
And we pamper our babies.
Yeah.
They pretty pampered for sure. You know what I'm saying? We been at their age. We probably been there kind of bump. We didn't bump our head, by that time. So they ain't never had no issues or no thoughts of what they gonna do. They car break down. We getting it fixed. You know what I'm saying? Girl, and my grandma was like, you better work that job. I don't know what you gonna do with that paycheck, baby. But you better get that fixed. And I'm just going to fix this car, girl. I guess we do need to let them bump their head at least.
And you know what?
But I guess the other part is we're not that bad off.
And that's the problem. You guys are too good at parents. You guys should be less successful.
So
you should be less successful.
So we made mistakes. We bumped our heads, right? But we still made it. We're okay. Granted, we may not be where we feel like we're supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? But we're okay. Like, we still made it past that part. And I think that what the worst could be is that we are creating these adults who may be worse off. We talking about you in your 30s. And you just not bumping your head, or you can't figure it out, or your problem solving is not there because I've always been there to clean it up.
Exactly.
So it may be that we need to let them bump their heads and kind of fall in.
You know what it is? We live in a microwave society. Everything is instant gratification. Everything is Instagram. There's an instant response. Social media, this, that, and the third. We didn't have that. You know, back in the days, you know, you want to talk to a girl, you got that one shot, that one phone. And I'm talking like before call ID, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody's mom pick up, you got to hang up, or somebody called my mom be in the background. Who was on the phone? Mom, sorry. Like, so kids have everything at their fingertips. You want to answer, you Google it. And if you look at that, a lot of children, I mean, there's other reasons for this too. I'm really like surmising it. But what I'm saying is a lot of times that's why we have children who have so much anxiety and so much depression, because they have no coping skills. And what happens in our society, and this is not an opinion, I'm saying this based on data, right? We all know suicide, anxiety, that's all risen. That's factual. And it's not relative to the growth in population. It's exceeded, right? So it's not just by numbers, it's by percentage as well. That being said, we are also in a situation where bigger corporations have learned how to string us along so that we can have more than we should have faster. Like people, and I'm not judging anybody for it, I'm just saying, you can finance an iPhone. Like, finance a phone? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, back in the days, you couldn't even finance a car. Leasing is a relatively new idea. So what's happened is we've been allowed to drive the nice car. They have apps and websites where you could borrow a purse. And like, you know, like I want a Louis bag. I can't afford it. So I'm going to rent this one for 2 weeks for $30 and I can take my pictures and get the likes on Instagram and send it back. Or have two and look good. Like, there's so many things that we have now that didn't exist 20, 30 years ago to make us feel good about ourselves in the moment so we don't have to work for it to actually earn it. And that's a staying power. And our kids are growing up in this. They don't know anything else. We know both sides. So I think it's critical. To make sure that we're having these kind of conversations, that we're putting ourselves and our children in the right network of people. And yeah, like I said, let them fall. The worst thing that can happen is they owe somebody some money. It's the worst thing. I bought houses with credit cards. Like, let them learn about credit cards.
That's true. How did your daughter get a credit card at 10 years old though?
I leveraged it. Put the cash down. There was nothing, and it was her money.
Okay.
Yeah, you just co-signed for it. That didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the story about her, I don't think I put this in the book about her, but I talk about it like when I'm talking about like parenting stuff. I never bought my daughter a birthday gift. Never, not once. Never, ever. Never bought her a Christmas gift. Not once, ever. Never did it. For what? She had 1 million of them. She always had that stuff. It's not like she didn't have stuff. But when it came time to her birthday, I always gave her money. And then anybody else who gave her money, I would never let her spend it. When she was young, I'll make her save it. And then she would make her little deposit slips. Like, I got pictures, like backwards letters and like little hands. So then she started to learn what it was like going to the bank. And then another thing, which is a small tangent, like we grew up with money. Like, I don't know how old y'all are, but I remember when you had like 50 cents, it was like candy, chips, soda. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm going shopping, right? So we're in a cashless society primarily. So kids don't know what it feels like. Like, I remember back in the days growing up, and like, I never sold drugs. Like, I don't want to make it seem like that. Like, never a drug dealer, but I always like got money. Putting it out there. Never sold drugs. But I would make $400 or $500 a day. I'm 13, 14, 15. And I would come home with a brick of money. How you get the money? You know, it's not hundreds. We know people. Hundreds was 10s, 20s, singles, whatever. And you come home with a knot of money. And then it's time to go buy something. And you're like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. There's a reason why, and I'm going to go back to my other point, but this is something else too, just for people who are listening, writing gems down. Psychologically, there's a difference that happens neurologically when you put in a chip in a card Or when you take money out and you count it out and you psychologically, it's way easier to do that because it's a disassociation.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't see it. Your money goes in the bank. You never see your cash anymore. But anyway, back to my daughter. So she started getting to that point. And when she had enough money in the bank, Philly was really, really low. You could buy a whole house, $3,500. A whole house, no mortgage. Buy it, $3,500, $4,500. Google is documented. I'll send you some pictures. And long story short, she had some money in the bank. And I was like, come on, let me talk to you. And long story short, she made the agreement to buy a building in Philadelphia that's now worth like $500,000. So like, what happens is I couldn't just say this is a good investment for her. I said, look, do you know what renting is? And she said, nah, I don't know what renting is. I said, well, and I gave her this whole analogy about how much money she could make if she gave out her video games. She's like, I want to do that all day. And then so she did it. And I said, wouldn't you rather have people go to work to give you money than you having to go to work to get your own money? She said, yeah, I want to do that now. And that's how she gets her allowance.
Nice.
She buys her own stuff. I don't buy her really. I mean, I still give her money, of course, but like, she has everything she wants. She has a 3-family in Philly. Like, what is she? What can she buy? 15, 14, Jimmy 15. What can she buy? You know. So and we.
So do you manage that for her?
Manage the day in and day out. Yeah, but that's. I mean, that's easy. You know, anybody could. She could pay a property manager for 10%. You know what I'm saying? Like it. She understands the simple premise of it. You know what I'm saying? Money in versus money out. But anybody could do that. There's towns all across America. Maybe in OKC. Maybe I got to come out there if I got some deals. I'm sure that there's places anywhere in Middletown, America, where $5,000 will get you into a deal. But people just don't know how easy it is. They think it's so grandiose, and it's not. It's so simple.
So you teach that information in your workshops? I see you have a F.E.A.R workshop.
Mm-hmm. Well, F.E.A.R workshops, yeah, absolutely. That's what it is. But I also have clients through HA Homes. F.E.A.R workshops is like something that's kind of novel. But yeah, exactly. That's what my workshops are about. We talk about whatever you need to talk about. I'll set up a workshop and I'll fill up the room.
How long? So you can come to Oklahoma City and do that?
I fly. You want me to come out? Bring me out. The only thing that stopped me was COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to OKC. I never been to OKC. Give me a reason. I'll go.
Oh, look, you'll have fun in Oklahoma City.
You said what?
It's small town, like not as small as Killeen, but it's a little bigger than Killeen, but not as big as Brooklyn. It's kind of got that
Midwest, like Minneapolis, like Minneapolis.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying, a middle vibe. Like it's kind of. It's not really Dallas, but it's like a smaller Dallas.
I'm cool. Which I eat in OKC. Which I eat out there. Which I know for. Which I know for.
We eat a lot of everything. It depends on what you like. We don't have a true like dish in Oklahoma.
I was wondering because I haven't heard of it. Okay, I'm just asking.
I mean, we have like we got chicken, we got wings, we got pork chops. Let's see. I'm gonna say chicken wings, pork chops from Prince Hall. We got fish. We got pretty much.
So soul food.
We don't have like
I got soul food.
No signature.
No signature dish here.
All right, cool. Well, I'll come anyway. I'll come take some pictures. I'll go to a game or something. But yeah, well, I'm listen. If y'all want me to come out there, we could talk when we get off this. I'll show y'all how we could put something together. Everybody makes money, and we actually give back, and everybody gets something. And it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. And you'll see that with it. And again, like really, really go back. Look at some of my stories. I'm telling you, like with a tax return, you know what you could do with a tax return? Like people, the problem is that nobody, it's not that people don't think about it. Y'all thought about it, right? Kapri was like, she was just talking about it. It's not that y'all are not doing it. I always make this analogy because I like the gym. You ever see somebody like, I'm going to do it myself, and they work out by themselves? And they be in the gym forever, and they don't really get any real results? And it's like, why don't you just hire a trainer? Like, just to learn some stuff. And you hire a trainer, you learn 2 or 3 little things, and then you don't need the trainer anymore, and then you do it, and then you make your gains. So I think what happens a lot of times is people are afraid to spend money on themselves. to catapult them into another atmosphere because they're afraid of too good to be true. Meanwhile, this person has 100 million. Oh, well, there's a reason why. And this person, you see them climb. Oh, well, that's just a 1 in a million chance. And it's every reason why it can't be you. And it's so easy that it could be you. I did data on how many millionaires. You know, 1 in 23 people in Texas is a millionaire? 1 in 23. I was doing statistics on millionaires. You know how many $1 million don't mean nothing no more. Like $1 million is nothing. It's so easy to become a millionaire, and it's so easy to start building your wealth and having your kids live a crazy lifestyle. People are just afraid. I'm scared you're gonna take my money. All right, let's say I take your money. Let's just say you lose 5 G's. Let's just say, which is really hard in real estate, right? Because it's public record. Like it's not a car. It's not a title. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I'm selling you a bag or a gold chain. Like I just think people gotta like just lose that apprehension, and you waste money on so many other things. Like you know what I'm saying? So why not?
That's the part. That that wasting money on so many other things. I think sometimes you like there are times that I've gone back and been like, dang, I spent this much on, like you said, that whole idea of like, that's why I don't like swiping cards and ordering online, because like swiping your card and ordering online, like you said, it takes away from the have to give it. You know what I'm saying? Because once you count out money, you think about how much you counted out regards to that. But thinking about how much money you spend on stuff, and you feel like, dang, I could have bought this, or I could have bought that, or I could have, put this in this investment, or but I don't think we always think about that kind of thing. People probably waste about $10,000 a year just on stuff that's just on frivolous stuff.
Easy.
Probably. Well, yeah. So
Easy.
I kind of got a different mindset on that. When I get cash in my possession, I want to spend it.
Okay, but how about this? Just watch. But what do you spend it on?
Just whatever. I might go run on cue and go buy pop. I mean, I just be one of the.
So all right, so
I'm a good saver.
So you're not getting money and being like, I need Louis. Like, give me Louis. You're not soda. Like buying soda. Like, that's not. That's not burning a hole in your pocket. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta get Dontae. She's back at the 7-Eleven again. Like, we gotta get her, girl. Like, she's buying 2 liters like crazy. No, this is what I'm trying to say. And I said it earlier in the interview. I don't purport to know everything, and I don't speak for everybody. There's a spectrum like everything else in life. But we gotta go with stereotypes, right? A stereotype is something that's true 80% of the time. If you take 5 Americans, 4 of them are broke, poor. They're poor. Their mindset is messed up. And if you give them cash, by statistics and by psychology, the way that it works, if you gave them $10,000, let's say, if it was in an account that they never actually got to see the money go in and never physically touch it, they'd spend that $10,000 way faster and not know where it went. Yeah. You would know I spent this on soda because you have the experience of doing it. You ever come and be like, where did that money go? What did I even buy from Amazon? Like, you don't get to touch the money. You're detached from it.
Right. That's true. Right.
Yeah.
When I do get like a large sum of money in my hands, I have to go deposit in the bank because, like I said, because you spend $100 and now you got 20. You spend the 20, now and it's like, dang, I just had $100, now I only got $40. Where the 60? You know what I'm saying? So for me, whenever I have cash, I have to go deposit, and that's why I make a habit of that. Like if I get money from somewhere or whatever, I immediately go to the bank and deposit it.
What kind of account do you put it in?
Like, okay, I'm about to go out. Let me grab this 20. Let me, so.
What kind of account do you put it in?
I have a checking and I have savings, but I have a few accounts.
All right. So, but it's a high interest or a low interest or moderate interest bearing account. Like, what is it? 0.5%?
It's just the rate of the savings, so it's not very much.
Okay.
I'm not making much on it at all.
So check this out. This is something a lot of people don't know too. Like, inflation.
Yeah.
On average, every year inflation is 3%. So what that means is if you're getting 0.25% every year, you're losing 2.75% of your money. So the longer you have your money in savings, the more money you lose. You're actually losing money every day. So that means if you have 10,000 in the bank, 100,000 in the bank, it goes exponentially. It hurts you more, and that's one of the things that, again, has nothing to do with dollar signs. It just has to do with the mentality rich people versus poor people don't do. I never put my money in a bank account like that. I can't. If my money is not, that's what this logo is, right? Busy money. If your money's not working for you, you're not using money the correct way. And this is not, I'm not talking down. I want y'all to start looking at it like that. Like, hold up. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And those small changes, they grow. It compounds on itself. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff becomes energetic, and then it goes out, and you'll see, like,
yeah.
You
like
guys,
I said, I'm a great saver, so I am changing my mindset in that regard as far as investing more.
Good.
So, like when I got a raise, for example, like I had the money, like the difference going into a different account, and I kind of play with stocks with that money because I'm trying to more money. So I do have trying to change my mindset, trying to get into, the properties and things like that to where my money makes money for me.
Good.
So, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I still feel like people kind of need to save somewhat, have like a little safety net, emergency fund, something.
But I agree with that. But this is what I'm trying to say. Why can't your safety net be high yield? Why can't your safety net be something that's going to benefit you? Like, we don't have, like a lot of things, banking hasn't caught up with 2020. But people who really make money, they're ahead of the curve, and that's why they don't put their money in those certain types of things. And it's not that you have to have so much money, just like stocks. Maybe 5 or 10 years ago, people thought that you had to have millions. See, stocks, whoa, hey, stocks are cheap. It depends on what you're buying, It's just, the thing about stocks,